How about Natalie Portman? Why did you think she was so right for this movie?
Well, she's an extremely good actress, and at the same time, she's very strong. And I needed somebody, as I did with Carrie Fisher, somebody who was very young, and Natalie plays a 14-year-old queen. And it's a hard role because it's for an actor. It doesn't have the kinds of elements that an actor loves to deal with, crying and screaming and yelling and, dramatic scenes. It's a much more controlled, almost kabuki-like performance that is much more difficult to do because you don't have as much to work with. And she did great. It's a tough role. She gets more to do in the next movie too, but she gets to open up a bit from what happens in this one.
Star Wars creator George Lucas. Natalie Portman plays Queen Amidala in The Phantom Menace, the young woman who will later marry Anakin Skywalker. Their children, Luke Skywalker and Princess Leia. Portman got an early start as an actor. She was just 13 when she starred in her first movie, The Professional, in 1994. She told NBC's Matt Lauer how she got the part.
This is kind of like a fantasy story from Hollywood. You were discovered, I understand, the first time in a pizza parlor.
Yes. I was in a pizza parlor after dance class one day, and a man was in there, and he says to me, hi, my name is Steve Costa, I'm from Revlon, and I'm interested in you for modeling for our line of Petite Nete, which is the kids' line of Je Nete. And he introduced me to modeling agents. They didn't have the budget for the Revlon thing, so I ended up not doing the Revlon thing. But I still was connected to the modeling agents. But I told them I didn't want to model, I wanted to act.
Why not? Why didn't you want to model?
Because I had done it locally before, and I found it boring, and I always need to be, stimulated. I always need to be doing something that makes me think, and it didn't make me think.
Hey, you big star at home now? Your friends treat you the same?
No, my friends all treat me the same. My real friends. Some kids, a few times in school, it was really weird. Some kids asked me for my autograph. I was like...
You know what? Get used to that. It's going to happen a lot more.
That was 1994. 5 years later, Natalie Portman was starring in a Star Wars movie.
Senator, this is your arena. I feel I must return to mine. I've decided to go back to Naboo.
Go back? But Your Majesty, be realistic. They'll force you to sign the treaty.
I will sign no treaty, Senator. My fate will be no different from that of our people. Captain.
Your Highness?
Ready my ship.
Please, Your Majesty, stay here where it's safe.
It is clear to me now that the Republic no longer functions. I pray you will bring sanity and compassion back to the Senate.
Nice do, Natalie.
Thanks.
What do you think of all these? I mean, the costumes you wore were beautiful, but pretty cumbersome, I understand. Was it tough to act in all this stuff all over the place?
Well, it was really beautiful. The costumes and all the hair and makeup were really, really wonderful. But it also, they were not the most comfortable, but I really enjoyed seeing it in the movie afterwards. I mean, there wasn't the happiest one. I was going to say when it was going on, but it was really, they were so beautiful.
Your performance has been described, I'm not sure if it was George Lucas or someone else, as kabuki-like. Right. It was very sort of restrained in places. Was it challenging for you?
Well, it is, because you don't want to make it a caricature, and you don't want to make it too boring or anything, but at the same time, she's this young queen, no one wants to take her seriously, and, she's being threatened, and she has to keep her resolve and keep her, be contained so that people don't see that she's kind of really scared inside. And so it was interesting, but all the costumes and the makeup really helped for that.
She's got some interesting times ahead. Do you have any idea of how she's going to evolve? Obviously, she's going to sort of flirt with the dark side, right?
Well, Obviously, I think all Star Wars fans know that, the next film will be a romance with Anakin, and then then they have their children, and then, eventually he turns to the dark side.
So what drove you on The Phantom Menace? Because you signed on for 3 of these movies.
Right. Well, it was a huge commitment to make at 14 to sign on for basically 10 more years of my life, but I really figured that I'd have a great time doing these films, because they're so much fun, and people really love them, and it's nice to do something that becomes part of the culture.
When you saw the movies, did you get it? Did you get why so many people are so crazy about these films? Or was part of you kind of like, what, it's just a movie, folks?
Well, I mean, for me in my life, it is just a movie. It's just, you know, a fun thing to do on a Friday night or something. But I think it's become so popular because it has such a simple kind of basic story that can be taken on a lot of different levels. It can be taken as just, you know, your fun Friday night activity, or it can, I mean, it has a lot of kind of religious and mythical undertones, and you know, you can take it on a much deeper level than just an action movie.
Star Wars, more than just an action movie. When we come back, Natalie's co-star, Liam Neeson.